The engine is self-powered.
For launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps. The cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Hello, everybody. I'm already laughing at Sue. Look, Sue made it, everybody. Everybody in the chat, give her some love, a thumbs up. Oh, my God, I made it. It's past her bedtime. I just cracked up. Sue made it. The world's #1 numerologist is in the chat, Sue. Hello, Miss Sue. How are you? I've been laughing since I read that, Sue. Sue always makes me laugh, even when it's serious. Welcome to the R.I.F Nation Network. I am your host, Joni Skinner, for Mysteries Beyond the Scenes, forensic astrology, where we look for missing persons. We work on cases, anything mysterious in astrology. So welcome. We are streaming live tonight on YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Facebook, and Spotify, Apple, and Google. I think those are our podcasts. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to the chat. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Hello, Miss Heidi. How are you? Hello, Boulder. How's Boulder doing? And we've got Pennsylvania from Miss Lee. I'm on call, though. We'll jump in when I'm done. Okay, hon. Take your call. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Heidi. Sharing out. I woke up late today at 2, still trying to get caught up. Oh, no. And I know Miss Lois is in here too. I was trying to do emojis on my phone to you guys, and the emojis don't seem to be working. The emojis did not work. Ugh. Hi, Miss Lois. I hope you're well. I hope everything's going good. Welcome in. Look at Sue's laughing. How are you, Sue? We're honored to have you here. Hello, Miss Cindy. Hey, just a quick announcement because we all love and know Miss Cindy. Miss Cindy has joined the Rift Nation Network. So she will be having a show on this very network. It's in the planning stages with her vibrational energy healing with her. She does the bowls. She knows everything about vibrations and energy. I'm excited for this show, Miss Cindy. You know, I can't wait for a show where I can sit down and actually have the healing of the sound bowls and healing, because I don't think enough of us, I'm guilty, we don't take enough time out to heal ourselves. You know, when you're in the spiritual world and you do a lot of spiritual work, our healing kind of isn't, it doesn't go into the into our you know, it's just something I think we kind of take for granted. So I'm excited, Cindy. I am so excited. Congratulations. She's in her I shouldn't say that. When you're in what we call a nodal return, this is when things exciting and doors open, and it can be a very magical time when you least expect it. It's kind of like opening up the Christmas present that you didn't think you were going to get, and you get it. My son's at the airport picking up his wife, and lots of cars, yet nobody in the airport. Maybe the flight was delayed. Neptune's getting ready to go into retro. So I'm excited I am so excited. I sure don't know everything. Well, yeah, yes, you do. Yes, you know a lot more than we do. We don't know anything. We're excited about it. I'm excited. You know, I didn't know a whole lot. I didn't know anything about being on. Well, at the time I joined Rift with Howie, we were on the radio, and I loved it because we didn't have the video. So you could get up, you could move around, you could like snack, you could just turn your microphone off and eat. And but now that we're on video, you can't do that. But we were on Blog Talk, and then we moved into, like everybody else does, they do live streaming now. Live streaming is everything now. So you know, you get to learn to get used to it, all this stuff, like the light and the microphone. And we have Susan in case, like, all of a sudden, like, the video goes down or you have issues. Susan's like that. She's on top of it. So we're lucky to have Susan, and you're in good hands with Howie, Cindy. He's the best. He is the greatest ever. I adore him. He's an Aquarius, by the way. They're futuristic. If you watch Howie's show on Sunday, you know, the Orion effect with, of course, Miss Rhonda and Howie, he just, you know, he's an Aquarius. He's an Aquarian. Rising Leo, I think he's a rising Leo or a Leo moon, but rising Leo, he's Leo Aquarius. And you just see it. It's all over him. Are those what? The entire parking lots are packed, yet no people. Well, maybe the flights aren't here. Are those underground bunkers real? Creepy. I don't know. I don't. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. I'm not a real big. I don't know. People say that there's all these underground tunnels. I don't know. I don't know. I know the planets and the stars. I'm not a big. I'm not quite sure. Hello, Miss Tammy. Come on in, you guys. Come on in, friends. I have a good show planned for tonight. It's a little different because, oh yeah, Heidi agrees with that. Ed's energy is Aquarius. He is. He's such an Aquarian. And Miss Sarah is a Libra. They have really good compatibility. She's a Libra. So, a Libra would just smile and, okay. Okay. They're mad scientists. My grandson is an Aquarius. They're very, of all the signs in the zodiac, I would say Aquarius is the most intelligent. And I hate to like label, but they're very intelligent. They're like the mad. They remember that movie Back to the Future, the mad scientist. That's how I equate an Aquarius. They're just, and then Capricorns are very bright too. Capricorns and Aquarius, but Aquarius is just so futuristic, very futuristic. Elon Musk has a lot of Aquarius energy. He's a Gemini, but he's an Aquarian. Tammy's an Aquarius. Yes, very bright people. They never look to the past. They don't look at the past. They don't believe in it. They look to the future. I love Aquarians. They're very creative people too. And one thing that people don't know about Aquarius is they are not a water sign. They're an air sign. They're the water barrier, but they're an air sign. So they're in there with Libras and Geminis. They're chatty. Okay, let's get started. Oh yeah, Elon Musk for sure. Capricorn. Capricorns are very bright too. Hi, Miss Kathy. Was cooking dinner. Oh, what are we having tonight for us, Kathy? Kathy always cooks great meals. But if you all remember the show last weekend, we featured little Miss Kada Scott, who's up here. Kada has been recovered. Her remains have been recovered. I'm not as mad as I was Monday because I know on Keith's show, I found myself talking about it and I was just getting madder and madder as I was talking about it. And I could hear my voice raising and I'm like, oh crap, just bring it down a level because I'm a Libra. Libras don't get mad. And then I kind of, she was a Penn State student, beautiful young lady, wanted to be Miss America, and her 23 years old, and now she's gone. She is gone because of a perp that was let out on the streets of Philadelphia. Come to find out, there's a lot coming out on this case, and we're going to have to wait until all the facts come out regarding how and why he's walking. The DA is blaming the judge is blaming the DA. I mean, it's a mess, to be honest with you, with this young girl. He never should have been out on the street. And, he had done this to another young lady back in January. I believe it was January. The case was dismissed because they claimed the witnesses didn't show. But of course, now in the press conferences, they're saying, well, why did you even need the witnesses? So the pressure coming from the Philadelphia community is huge, as it should be. He also had, from another victim, an emergency protective order out on. This is not a good person. This is one of those repeated perps that we have talked about, that I have talked about repeatedly. I don't shut up about it. And enough of, I'm sorry, you can't send in a therapist on domestic violence calls. That's when they are the most dangerous calls for law enforcement to go on. These people, some people cannot be rehabilitated. Sorry. We have got to turn around this mindset of the criminals get the sympathy and the victims and their family get nothing. It's got to stop. And I mean, especially with these young girls, that we're losing too many beautiful young women with their lives ahead of them. We've lost Lake and Riley. We've lost, I can just I can just go down the list because I cover the cases. And these people shouldn't be walking. This guy, this prosecutor, and I've got a picture of him. He's in a lot of hot water. And we know for a fact that this is an election year coming up in November. So if you are in Pennsylvania or Virginia, it is more important for you, as all of us, what affects you more than a congressional vote or a governor vote is the attorney general of your state. Do your homework. Do your homework when you choose them. Because I'm going to show you, this guy ran on a platform of stopping mass incarceration. He ran on a platform where he was going to hold police accountable. And Philadelphia is apparently a mess with the crime. It's apparently a mess. And he's under the gun. So I wanted to recap, because this kind of blew me away, because I went over the chart pretty extensively last week. So I did a comparison from the chart and what exactly the facts are that we know. There's a lot of the rumor mill is going crazy with this case, but we'll take the facts that we know from the chart. So the recap, the map was correct. The mileage was correct at 2.4 miles, and I've got a copy of the map to go over with you guys. If you recall in the chart, we talked about how they communicated on social media. That was confirmed. Unexpected sudden event. He kidnapped her at work. We talked about in the second house, the victim below the ground. And remember, we talked about it green. Because it was in the second house, it would be green. Wooded. She was found in the green wooded area. Abandoned, isolated building. It was at the abandoned school. In the back, in the wooded area, is where they found her. And it's also where they found her some personal items as well. And a lot of people are questioning, why didn't they do the cadaver search back there? But they stated that they had. And, sometimes things do get missed. Workplace danger was in the chart. She was abducted at work. The mileage, 2.4 miles. And this was odd in the chart. And I couldn't I thought, he had such a junky old car. He flaunted wealth. That was in the chart, if you recall. His bond was originally set from the first incident at $2 million. The judge reduced the bond to $200,000. That means he would have had to have come up with $20,000. He immediately came up with $20,000 cash and bonded out. So he did have the cash to flaunt. Something of value was taken. The day before she was kidnapped, he stole a car which was used in the crimes. The car was, they caught it on fire, and it went to the junkyard. It was compacted. So something of value taken. He had taken a car the day before. So those are some of the things that came out of the chart alone with her astrology. She was found, and I circled it in yellow at that blue line from the nursing home. So she was in between that wedge. So if we would have looked in between that wedge for an abandoned building, we would have found her. Because how many abandoned, isolated buildings surrounded by woods are within that wedge through the process of elimination? She could have easily been found on this chart. The other car the gold car, which he did not use in the crime, was found on the other blue pin. So they would have at least also found the gold car. So kudos to the astrology. I'm telling you, especially with Kirsty's new book, talk about the chart giving us way more information than I ever was able to, because Kirsty's provided more info to look up. I was really impressed with that, how that chart came out. So I thought it was really interesting. So we'll just say a prayer for her family. God love their hearts. It's just a sad, sad story. But later on, after we look at the French, the crown jewels that were stolen, I did a little information on the DA in New York, and I've got some information on the DA in Virginia as well. Just look them up. This is very important right now because there's too many people who are walking the streets. We've seen it in, crap, you name it. Charlotte, North Carolina, our little girl was stabbed on the train. We've got to make this safe for our daughters and our granddaughters. We have to make it safe. Okay, you guys, as a Libra, of course, I love crown jewels. I love the jewels in London, and I love any kind of things that sparkle. Any Libra knows that. If it sparkles, we love it. We love diamonds. We love jewelry. This case was interesting, and I thought, oh, I bet the chat would love to see something a little bit different with astrology. Wait until you see this crime chart. You're going to laugh. I'm going to be like, any of us in the chat, we could have pulled this off with the astrology that was going on at the time. At the time of this robbery, it's crazy. But I don't know if anybody's ever been to the Louvre in Paris. It's a very famous museum. It's where the Mona Lisa is kept. They were very close to the Mona Lisa. It also was in the movie, the one with Mary Magdalene and all that. What was the movie? You know what I'm talking about. It was that movie. I forget the movie. But it was back in the day. It was another famous movie. It had the big triangle or the pyramid in front of it. That's the museum. And at the end, that's where there's the pyramid. It's on the map. And that's where the camera went down to where Mary Magdalene was allegedly buried. I forget the movie. I forget it now. Okay. But this is the Louvre Museum. So on the map, you can see where the thieves entered through the window. Now, look at this picture. Now, as you can see, this was an electric, like a power-operated ladder, and they were dressed as workmen. So right when the museum opened at approximately 9:30 in the morning, last Sunday morning, they entered through the balcony dressed as workmen with vests on. Now, we've got a picture. Look at this. There is a picture of one of the thieves. He's got his dark clothing and a vest on. So you would think, oh, he's a worker. What they did is it took them 7 minutes to get in there, break through the glass, take 9 pieces of priceless jewels from Napoleon. This is the jewels that were from Napoleon's day. And they took, it's priceless, this jewelry, and it's still missing. They took jewels from Empress Eugenie, and one of the sets allegedly Marie Antoinette had. That's what they claim. They're not sure, but they are considered the priceless crown jewels of France. Now look at this beautiful. I have the number of emeralds and stuff. Now this is the emerald set that they took. This is probably my favorite set. I love this. It's an emerald necklace that Napoleon, this is the set that Napoleon gave his second wife, Marie Louise. 32 emeralds, 1,138 diamonds are in this set. That was taken. This beautiful brooch was taken. I don't know if that was taken. I just thought it was pretty. Okay, now this particular crown was Empress Eugenie's crown. They found this crown out in the street. They had dropped the crown. Can you imagine just walking down the street? Oh, look, here's a crown. What? They dropped this crown. So this beautiful gold crown was saved. And now, this is my birthstone, the sapphire set. So we have a sapphire set. This is the one that people have suggested was Marie Antoinette's, but they're not positive. 24 sapphires, 1,083 diamonds were in this beautiful set. Again, there's no price tag on this. It's priceless. Okay, let's take a look at this crime chart. This is so interesting. Look at the pink. I'm telling you, I think somebody in this gang is an astrologer. I'm not kidding. So we don't have victims, but we have perps. So the perps are in the 7th house, ruled by Taurus. So who's the ruler of Taurus? Of course, Venus. Who rules jewelry? Venus. So we find Venus. Where is she? Look at that. In Libra, in the 12th house. So that's more than one perp. Libra, right? Libra's a dual sign. Venus, of course, that's the jewelry. Unbelievable. So we've got it. And I circled the sun in the 12th house because that's an older man was involved. That sun is connected to Jupiter, so it's an older, heavy man. If you recall the picture of the guy that had the vest on, he was a big man, fairly heavy. He's the leader of the pack. So they're in hiding. There they are, the moon. There's the jewelry. But look at the pink all over that chart. We don't have one. We have what are called grand trines, things that are done with ease. So they were in an air trine, which is fast and quick, and we were dead smack in a water trine. So this made it very, very easy for them to get this, to pull this off. Look at that. Everything is done with such ease. Now, if this were a crime chart, let's just say that this would have been Kada's chart. She would have been found alive. She would have easily been found. Yeah, look at that. Okay, isn't that crazy? Oh my God, the trines look like Merkaba. Who's Merkaba? Who's Merkaba? I thought it looked like almost like a Star of David, kind of, sort of. Doesn't it kind of look like a Star of David? Sort of. And then we also have Pluto is trining Venus. So what does Pluto rule? Thieves. Thieves. The underworld. So they're in hiding. They're in hiding. Everything that is harmonious and could go right would go right in this chart. It was done with a lot of ease. Of course, they dropped the crown, but what the heck? I mean, nobody does this stuff and gets away with it. Who is Merkaba, Cindy? So there's our robbery. Are they going to get caught? We've got Leo up at the midheaven as well. At the MC, you have Leo. Leo is the sign of royalty and would also rule the jewels. Leo's in the midheaven, in the public eye. So Leo is, everybody's watching. Uranus is trining Pluto. Shocking. It's shocking. What's interesting about this chart is Pluto is with Jupiter. It's opposing Jupiter. Some of these thieves are of foreign descent. They're foreigners. They may be foreign. That's Jupiter. So I thought that was such an interesting chart because this is how they got away with it. If you're going to rob a place, do it with 2 trines in the event chart. Oh, here's Denise. We'll tell Denise. Denise, look at this. This is the jewelry heist in Paris from last Sunday. Look at the pink. Look, 2 trines are in full bloom. We have Pluto trining the moon also. They're in Libra. Of course, that's the jewelry. The green, more than 2 people, because that's the little perps that got away with it. Look at these jewels, Denise. This is what they took. That one they dropped. They found that one out in the street. That brooch, I wouldn't have taken that brooch. I'm sure it's sparkly and pretty, but man, I would have gotten the emeralds. I think those are beautiful. Look at that. So that's just beautiful. Look at those emeralds. I love emeralds. Oh, okay. Let's see. Merkaba is a star. What is that? Tetrahedron geometric shape. Tetrahedron. What does Merkaba mean? What does Merkaba stand for? Symbolize? KL. Hi, babe. What does it Merkaba symbolize? Could that be associated with the robbery? Where was Merkaba at the time of this event chart? I can put Merkaba. Is it a real star? We could look at it in the chart. It's probably with Venus. It's probably if it's a real. Is it a? Oh, it's sacred geometry. Oh, okay. Is there a real star Merkaba? We need to figure that out. And if that star is out there, we need to see where it was at the time of the robbery. I think they're going to get caught. Why do I think that? It's not in the chart, but I think they'll get caught. They were careless. They tried to catch their car on fire that they got there in, and they couldn't do that. They left on motorbikes. They left tools. They left vests. They left DNA everywhere. So I don't know. Okay, here we go. Love sacred geometry, and some meditations go into the Merkaba. That's neat. Well, I wonder if Merkaba had something to do with this. If that's what it's shaped like. That's weird, isn't it, you guys? That Merkaba shape, sacred geometry. Somebody knew this. I'll tell you what. If you're going to pull off a robbery like this one, do it when 2 trines are like they were today. Because you're not going to get anything any easier than that. And Venus and the moon together in Libra in the 12th house. 12th house is robbery. Pluto is the underworld. That's the thieves. The thieves are Pluto. Isn't that crazy? I think it's great. I should ask them, are you going to do this again? Let me do it. Let me check your chart. Can I have the emerald necklace? I'm just going to wear it to the Dollar General. I'm teasing. I'm kidding. I think it's tragic because these are beautiful pieces that belong in a museum for all of us to enjoy. They need to bring them back. They need to bring those back immediately. They need to do it. Look at the map, you guys. Where do you think they went? Look at the southwest. All the lines that are I circled them southwest. Look at that. I think they went southwest. Now, we have Jupiter in the 9th house. That could mean that they left the country, went far. But I don't know. I think they're going to catch them. We're going to have to watch this and see where this shows up. Now, the experts are saying that they would have melted down the gold and just sold the stones, which is tragic. It's just tragic. But I thought it was just super, super interesting that we look at another crime chart and one over in France. I've done cases over in France before. I've done a couple of them. I've done a couple in Australia too. But I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to know that you can also use the forensic astrology, and it even tells us about the I think it's just amazing. Look at that. I'm going to look up and see if there is a star or an asteroid by that name, girls, and see if it was hanging out with Venus. Venus is the jewelry. Venus is the jewelry. So it's really interesting. I think it's just fascinating. So that's our case for this week. Let's hope they catch them. Now, Miss Kada Scott, I'll get through this because this is important for us to know. I'm going to be perfectly honest. When I vote, I never look at the background of the prosecutor. I just don't do it. Well, I'm doing it now. It's going to be on my my rabbit hole to do every time I go to vote in my area because it's that important. Here's the guy. Here's the DA in Philly. 65% of violent crime charges have been dropped under Krasner. He is running again, Philadelphia. Whether you vote for him or not is your choice, but I suggest you do. I suggest you do some searching, jump down the rabbit hole. He was backed $1.7 million from a political action committee funded by philanthropist George Soros. Krasner ran on a platform promising to end mass incarceration and prosecute police misconduct. Well, 65% of violent crime charges have been dropped under him. He's up for re-election. So do your homework. Okay, this is San Francisco. Blue City erupts as a 91 times felon tries to dodge prison and weasel into rehab after unaliving 2 people. Intoxicated, ran a red light in a stolen car, unaliving 2 people. 91 time felon. This is what we've got out on our streets. There nobody's up for re-election in San Francisco though. Okay, here we go with Letitia James from New York. I did her chart. For those of you who don't know, she has currently been indicted by the Department of Justice for bank fraud and mortgage fraud. She is best known for having the indictment. I thought that was Bragg. He was she brought the case against Donald Trump in New York City. And Miss James is now under indictment. New York City AG. What happens is if you're an AG, your residence must be in the city that you represent in New York. She has several homes that she listed as her permanent addresses for what happens is you get a lower interest rate, apparently. So that's what they're alleging fraud in. These two homes, I think they're both in Virginia, I believe. I could be mistaken, but I believe these two homes are in Virginia. She's got two nieces that live in these two homes. They are both, the one on the left is what is considered a fugitive out of North Carolina. She has fled felonies. She is wanted. She is a fugitive. The niece on the right is a fans only creator, which, hey, if that's how she makes her living. That's up to her. However, she's also has charges. I think she's also wanted. So she also has a couple of other homes that the one on the application, she put down that she had married her father. She was married to her father to get more suitable loans. We're going to have to watch this case. I'm going to watch it as it comes out, and I'll read the indictments and find out what's going on. These are the attorney generals we've got right now. So I pulled up her chart because she is set to go. She'll be on trial. The magic triangle. This is so interesting, you guys. It's crazy. In the bottom, you see the purple triangle. That's what we call the magic triangle of Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn, which is transiting right now. This is going to go on until about 2028. It's actually very positive. But when Saturn moved back retro into her fourth house, which is the house of homes, and opposed Pluto, she got indicted. She was indicted. She is in transiting Saturn, is now opposing her natal Pluto. Guess where? Her house of career. I cannot make this up. I can't make this up, right? It's also Uranus has just gone into the seventh house of legal issues. Pluto is in Aquarius. That's in her house of communications. So just the Saturn Pluto opposition. I'm going to tell you this is what it says when I looked it up. With these houses in the 10th and the 4th, it's a crisis of control, personal identity. You lose control and things crumble. This is what is called the dark night of the soul. Career image faces scrutiny and downfalls. You have to face this honestly. Where have you abused your power? Pluto is about power and Pluto's up in her 10th house in the workforce. It's a death and rebirth. Have you abused your power? It's karmic because Saturn is karmic. Self-deception because we've got Neptune in there as well. Okay. So now that we looked at that, if we look at Uranus hitting her 7th house, it is matching up with her natal Mars. There's your spark. There's your trigger right there, is Uranus Mars. That's the spark that blows up the entire Pluto structure. Okay? How would she go through this? Don't react. Don't react, just respond during this transit. Avoid violence, legal or rational. Okay? It's the powder keg. So then we can look closer into her chart. I mean, I hate to say this. This is just a chart that, wow. Pluto in the 3rd house transit is communications. Something's going to come out with emails, communications, it could be the contracts. the mortgage contracts are squaring, right? Direct square on her natal Neptune in the 12th house. Scandals, secrets, things that are hidden. I mean, this, you cannot make this chart up. Mercury, and it's squaring Mercury as well. So anything that was done nefariously is going to come out. It's hitting the 12th house. Those were hidden things that were hidden. 12th house also rules penitentiaries and prisons. She's a Mars in Gemini. Where's her Mercury? Will she talk? Mercury in Scorpio hitting Pluto. She may talk. She may talk. She may work a deal. She may talk. That's her chart. Ooh, that's some stuff coming at her. I feel sorry for people. I feel so sorry for people when I look at this stuff. When I look at charts like this, it's like, wow. Okay, get through it. That's her chart. Okay. Oh, on to Virginia. Virginia, you got this guy coming. He's running too. Now, this guy had a scandal recently. Look at this, you guys. Look at our great media. They didn't cover this scandal. Wait until you see this. NBC devoted 63 seconds to this scandal, while ABC, CBS, and PBS gave this scandal zero coverage. This guy's up for election as AG of a state in the United States, Virginia. Wait till you see what our friend did. Now he's apologized. Okay. Do your homework. Do your homework. This is what he did. He, on text messages were released that he wished his coworker, another person in, I think in their state house, he was a state representative or in that capacity. He wished he could watch her own child unalive in her arms. He's running for the highest legal office in a state in the United States. Here are the text messages. He talked about offing one of his coworkers and would do nasty things on their grave, and even the children. And he knew the children, by the way. He knew these were his coworkers. He knew them. So these text messages were released. So would you want this man protecting your family when he fantasizes basically about a woman holding her children that are unalived after being pow-powed? And he would pee on their graves. It's crazy. It's crazy. Do your homework. Do your homework if we're voting this year. Research time. Do your homework on these people, because I don't want to see any more Kada Scotts. And we have to start looking at these age. We're going to look at every AG that's up. We're going to do research on them. And here are the text messages. You can read them. You can look them up online. Let's see what his name is. I think his name is Jay Jones. His name is Jay. Look it up. Do your homework, folks. AG is a very important position in your state. Very crazy. It is very crazy. We have got to do a better job of, and I'm guilty of it. Y'all, I'm guilty. I don't do my homework either. I heard about this. The only way I heard about this particular scandal in Virginia was on social media. That's how I heard about it. But we need to pay attention to who's running and what she went after Trump for, she was allegedly doing and has been indicted for. So we're going to watch that trial when it's on. And Philadelphia, make up your own mind, but please do your homework on this guy, because she's not here with us anymore. And I feel so bad for her family. So we'll all do our homework, and we'll look out for all of them. We got to, you guys. We owe that to our young women to take care of them, because these people can't. We just got to be careful. So, well, that is the show for tonight. I was really, with Kirsty's book, it's just amazing of the astrology now. And like I said, the next layer that we have as forensic astrologers that we can add to crime charts. It just opens the world now to crime with this new book of Kirsty's. I got it, as you can see, I got it with me all the time. Here's her new book, the Forensic Astrology Workbook. It is phenomenal. And a lot of Kirsty is the pioneer of forensic astrology. This comes from, there's her picture. There's Kirst. This comes from her experience, her intuition. She's a Leo. Her intuition and all of the cases that she has gone through and compiled the information. And this is the first case that I did using Kirsty's book. And look at how accurate the information that she has in here that matched with Kada's chart. It blew me away. It blew me away. That entire chart was correct by what Kirsty's book has unfolded. It's just, she's phenomenal. She's a pioneer for her time. Yeah, they do. They do, Maureen. They have to. Our girls depend on this. We have to be more responsible on who we put in there. We have to do our homework in our own little area. Everybody's got to do their homework. We don't want to keep seeing Kada Scott, Lake and Riley's. We can't. We're losing too many of our young women because these people are not being incarcerated and they're being let out. And these are not people that can be rehabbed. I'm sorry. These are not good people. These are unaliving people. They're murderers. We can't feel sorry for them. So we'll stay on it. I'll stay on it. I watch them like a hawk. Oh, spot on. It is spot on. And Kirsty will say, I don't know how it works, but it works. We don't know how it works, but it just does. It's crazy. It works. Oh, it is incredible, Maureen. It's incredible to work it and study it. And you never stop studying it. You never stop. It never stops. You continually look at things and you look at them over and over, and it never stops. But this was amazing with Kirsty's knowledge. I would never have thought of flaunting wealth. And then here the guy's driving this old banged up car with the front end is caved in. And I thought, well, now how can he flaunt wealth? He came up with 20 G's to bond him, to get bonded out. That's flaunting money. Something of value was taken. He stole a car prior to her abduction. So the things that we didn't know last week that were in the chart came out this week. And I'm sure there's going to be more. I've got 2 pages of notes that I took. And I know I went through them pretty quickly last week. The abandoned building was big, and that was Saturn. That was Saturn. And I forget what house, but that was Saturn. A Saturn placement was the abandoned, isolated building. The second house placement was the green. That gave us another clue in the wooded area. That was the second house. Victim below the ground. So, and workplace danger. So we knew it then. So, and yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how it works, but it's pretty phenomenal. It's good stuff. It's very accurate. Very accurate. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the jewelry heist, which I love jewelry. I hope they get it back. I think they will. I'm going to look up that star, that sacred geometry star, you guys. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's phenomenal. Oh, crap. Can you see it? There we go. The Forensic Astrology Workbook. And the thing about it is exactly a workbook. Okay. She gives you, look at this. It is a complete workbook. Look at, you get questions. You've got all your work pages. She gives you it is so detailed. She even goes into mapping, how I map. She goes into mapping. It's the Forensic Astrology Workbook by Kirsty McIntosh on Amazon. It's just great. It's phenomenal. That's her book. It is crazy. So it's going back and looking at a lot of charts over again. Well, chat, do you have anything else you guys want to add? Everybody doing okay? Have a great week. Have a great weekend. It's cold here, so I guess winter is upon us. It's a 6-pointed star. I'm going to look it up and see if it's a real star. I'll let you all know next week, because if it's a real star, I'll find it and find out where it was and who it's hanging out with and what it means. Astrologically, I'll find out what it means. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting, because we do use, in forensic astrology, we use algol. That's to the neck, and injuries to the neck and the head. Algol. I use sheet, SCHEAT. That's a lot with drownings and ships and ocean accidents. I use Castor, which is the other one of the twins in the constellation of Gemini. That's I use that in crime charts. Castor, sheet, algol. Those are the three main ones that I use for forensic astrology. Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. I couldn't do this without you all. I love having you all in, and thank you for tuning in. Hey, listen, have a great week. Cindy, keep us up to date when you will have your show on. Welcome to the R.I.F.T Nation Network, Cindy. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to have you with us. You're going to enjoy it, Cindy. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you guys next week for another Mysteries Beyond the Scenes. We'll have another case and crack some more mysteries. So have a great week. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.